Georgian Legion, situation that I've been tracking on Twitter. It's not over. Like, there is more and more coming out, which is why I haven't been able to do a concrete video. It's pretty deep, you guys. With how bad of the scam from the Georgian Legion. So essentially, what is the Georgian Legion? Essentially, Georgian Legion is not a military unit. It's not a nonprofit. It's vibes. It's a social media account that's been collecting money, and maybe a fund or two has made it to the front lines, but 90% of it hasn't, and it's gone right into the pockets of those that are running the social media account. But if you've been donating to this Georgian Legion thinking it's going to support Georgians fighting Ukraine, like, it's not. You never heard of the Georgian Legion? This is what NAFO started with. So back in 2022, in order to get a fella, you had to donate to the Georgian Legion, and that's how I got my fella. That's how I got my original one. The very first one I did was donate to the Georgian. It was like $5-10, I think. I think I sent 15. So questions about where the funds were going started coming up a few weeks ago. And actually, Taras, who is Reshet, and his real name is Taras Reshetlo, he's Ukrainian, hiding in Minnesota, in my home state, who is basically like Mamuka's bodyguard. He's not a soldier. He's never fought in the military. Mamuka's basically like almost kind of like a gangster type character in all this. Mamuka's fought, though. He has fought in Bakhmut and other places, but he's not a commander of a unit. The Georgian Legion doesn't have there's no commander of this. Okay. It's not a thing. It's a club. It's like, again, it's a social media platform representing Georgians that are in different units, but the managers of the account, including Reshet and others and surrounding characters, have made it seem like this is a military unit or that this is an NGO, and it's neither. It's nothing. Anyone sending money to this Georgian Legion, it's going into pockets of people. It's not going to the front lines whatsoever, and it hasn't. But they've got a lot of attention, which, as we've learned on my platform with like the Enforcer YouTube channel, the more followers they have, the harder it is to like call out that they're a scam or that they're frauding people, because they built a base of support. Now, this is where it gets extra toxic, and why this story has been even more difficult, was because as soon as questions arose about the Georgian Legion and where funds are going, and can we get some receipts on any of this fundraising to help Ukraine? I mean, you see it on the screen. Number one, you're either blocked, or you're doxxed and harassed, or lies are made up about you and blasted all over the internet, or others that are like relying, or others like third-party people are like, oh, this is all drama and it's just going to affect me personally, so I'm going to put my head in the sand. That's basically the energy around it. It's created a very toxic environment on X. I've already been telling people to get the fuck off here. Like, I don't know why people are still trying to cultivate a pro-Ukraine platform on this at this point. Like, it's been, the odds have been stacked up against a pro-Ukraine entity on here. It's done well, but you usually get about 2 years in a movement. I usually get about 2 solid years in a movement before shit starts going sideways. And I'm surprised it's made it this far. But I'm really hoping that people that have serious platforms of support from this platform, you start moving to another one, or you start funneling people to another social media platform, because the infighting and the people that are so toxic about this has gotten to a level that Ukrainians themselves are being harassed, where Ukrainians are having to speak out about it. That's why I haven't been able to post a video, because more and more continues. If your priority within NAFO is to have your social club, and now you're mocking Ukrainians for daring to question a fundraiser that at this point seems to have grifted off of all of you at the expense of Ukraine, you've lost the plot. You know what this sounds like? The Enforcer and the YouTube pro-Ukraine community that I've gone through. But now it's all over X now. It's the same shit, chat. The same shit we went through with the Enforcer, but it was just us or me and those that stuck with me through it. But what was the majority of the energy I received when I started calling out the grift and the scam and lies of the Enforcer? Oh, Mercado's infighting. Oh, Mercado's causing problems. Oh, he's being loud about, he's dramatic. Drama-filled Mercado, can't let it go. Okay? The same shit here, but it's obviously with two X platforms, one being Georgian Legion and the other being Maria Report, and they built a lot of support around them. And their support base, instead of being like, maybe there's a problem here, they're going to immediately go and defend it to the point of being toxic. And that's, I've seen it and experienced it personally, and I'm seeing it again here on X, especially with people that you'd think would be your friend, or they have the Ukraine flag in their bio and they're just not. They found, you know what it really is a lot of people have found community within NAFO, and because they didn't have one before that, or they didn't have a community to call their own before that, and so they think they can act however they want, and that NAFO is like a protected class on Twitter because it like fights Russian propaganda, and it's like this delicate thing, and it can do whatever the hell it wants, and that's never gonna work. It's never gonna work when people are having problems like grifting or scamming and harassment and abuse, and you're trying to like get rid of it so that way there can be a healthy community. Well, when there's nothing really there to fall back for accountability, it kind of falls back on the people that are engaged with it, right? Like the people that have platforms, or the people that have followers on there. And that's why I've said consistently, like the NAFO accounts that have more followings, and then the cringe ass response I'll get, NAFO is a decentralized platform, nobody is more important than another. There are people that have 30,000 followers for being NAFO on here. They are entirely more influential than anyone else, okay? Like that's how the social media works. The more followers you have, the more reach and influence you get. So if you are out here with 500 followers, you are not as influential as somebody with 30,000 followers on X. Welcome to social media 101, okay? So the ones that have the more followers and the more reach and the influence, what they say and do matters, and it will trickle down and affect the others. So the ones that do have a large platforms on X that are ignoring all of this, or like pretending it's not happening, or calling it drama, and it's drama, it's just going to cause problems. They're only perpetuating more of it. They're only perpetuating this to continue, or excusing it, because that's what happened immediately. Was large prominent NAFO accounts, specifically the Dooku, this one, Gavril, who has been doing, I mean, prior to this account was just posting fake fellas, or people that were trying to kind of like infiltrate NAFO, and then like have like a NAFO fella and then just push pro-Russian shit. Like kind of, you know, it's classic propaganda stuff, but like they were doing a good job of like saying, hey, this is a fake account, you know, this is a fake NAFO, don't engage. But when Georgian Legion stuff happened, and people were calling out the Georgian Legion for lack of transparency, this account like went completely sideways and started creating chat groups. And I have all of them too, and I have all the people that were in them and a part of it. Oh yeah, I'm in all of it. So started creating DM groups and harassing people and coordinating targeting harassment on individuals that were calling for accountability, to the point of calling anybody that's wondering about the Georgian Legion pro-Russian, calling anybody like the drama queen people. I like the amount of effort going into pushing against people asking for accountability would be much quicker and a more healthier energy if it were switched and diverted to, where's the receipts? Where's the accountability for the Georgian Legion? But no, a lot of the energy is being pushed back at people that are asking for accountability. And a lot of it started with this account that you see on the screen right here in Gavril. And this account decided personally to be the wall. Like, this is what Gavril did, right? This is whoa. I'm going to be the one to decide what's what here. I'm going to be the one to figure it out. Nobody asks questions. I'm going to go do it. And then because they have a lot of followers, and I don't want to hear the NAFO is a decentralized platform and we're all special, fuck off. Okay? This account has a lot of followers, so they have a lot of influence. So they got a lot of attention on social media, on X, when they were doing that. Like, I'm defending, hold on, I'm going to find the answers. And then they went and got nothing. And then we're like, listen, the Georgian Legion's legit, guys. Promise, trust me, vibes. I asked him personally, hey, Gavril, could you tell us about the conversation you had with him? You're pro-Russian. You shouldn't even be asking those questions. I can't even believe I'm posting this. Horseshit. Absolute horseshit. I mean, it shows you the level of culting, even in something where you think is positive, like a pro-Ukraine community, can happen. The enforcer. Any cult can be created, especially something that's positive. You can find a click group in anything, you guys. But this account was going above and beyond. So not only were they doing that, they, again, like I said, they were in DM groups targeting other NAFO individuals to harass them about asking questions and being a big part of it. But also the ones that were specifically helping Rashett, this guy, Rashett, Reshetlo. No, excuse me. Taras Reshetlo is his real name. And I mean, this entire article is bullshit. This guy's never fought in the military. He dressed up like this. This is Rashett on X, or the Rashett, who managed and operated the Georgian Legion Twitter account. Never fought. Never was a soldier. Cosplaying right here. 100%. Okay? But don't worry. I messaged Rashett to try to get to the bottom of this, because there's been a lot of the other fact of this is there's been a lot of opportunists that have bad intentions, like really bad, and have tried to take advantage of the situation. So that's been something to try to avoid too, and like an extra level of security that has been required about this because of the opportunists and people that are like, ooh, pro-Ukraine infighting, let me take advantage of this one, like Jay Beecher did. So this is Rashett, also known as Taras Reshetlo, his real name. I messaged him here. I said, not a good move. Goes, I don't manage the page. What did you say? And this is what I messaged the Georgian Legion, which I can provide that at any point. Georgian Legion asked me, hi, please send your questions here. And I go, yes, of course. 1, what is the Georgian Legion? Is it an NGO? Is it a military organization? Is it a social club? And 2, do you have a reports for expenditures from donations given? And 3, what, if any, is the association with Richard Sharp? Which I have more information to collect on that guy, who's been very connected to a lot of prominent pro-Ukraine individuals. That is not good. Okay, not good at all. So then I go, the same as everybody else, simple questions without answers and games and blocks. Because right after I sent that, Georgian Legion blocked me after asking those very simple questions. So Taras, also known as Rashett here on the internet, goes, all were publicly answered. Do you have any new ones? And I go, well, you sent me a Wikipedia link, which didn't answer the first question at all, because that's what he did. Let me try to find that really quick. Because I asked him. Oh no, his name's Rashett. Not to. It's Rashett it's Rashett for Twitter, but it's Taras in real life. Let's try to find this really quick. Replies. He replied to me. Damn. Yeah, this picture's bullshit too. That's hilarious.
This is a video now.
I'm a real soldier. Never was. Never has been. Trying to find his response to me on here now. He's responding to everybody investigating it, which was very silly. Responding with memes and GIFs or GIFs. Where the hell is his response to me now? Oh, here it is. Okay. So, number 1, what you guys notice anything wrong in this picture? Really quick. You guys notice? I'm just gonna give you a minute. You guys notice anything wrong in this picture? You guys can get like 20 seconds. It shouldn't take long. This is Rashett, who's Taras, who ran the Georgian Legion Twitter account. Airsoft vest, yes. That's 1. What else is wrong with the photo? What else is wrong with it? Yes, not real armor is definitely one of those for sure. Having Rashett, his Twitter handle on his vest for sure, definitely, and not his real name. Could it be the upside down Ukraine flag? Could it be that, you guys, maybe? I can't zoom in any further. I wish I need a tool where I can like specifically zoom in. Hold on, open image in a new tab. Now I can. Could it maybe be the upside down Ukrainian flag? There we go. That's one of the things. I mean, that's just short order. That's quick. Not to mention what's going on with his buttstock there. Like, who does? No one does that. His pose is so weird. But because they've culted an entire environment, any questions asked, you're called a pro-Russian. So, anyways, I ask him straight up, because all my shit's in public. I don't do anything in DM groups. Why is the flag upside down? Are you willing to answer some questions regarding the Georgian Legion activities? And Rachette goes, Andrew, do less drama and more quality content. You're still fresh from Jake Bro beef and already looking to start a new one, which is weird. I mean, me and Jake haven't had a beef, to be honest. I have a problem with him, clearly. But we don't have like a back and forth problem. I just have a personal problem with him. He has a personal problem with me, and there's nothing there. There's nothing engaged. There's nothing. Me and Jake Bro aren't providing beef content for the internet. Like, it's just, if you know, you know. That's basically it. Okay? So, very weird comment there. And how is he even, like, how is this Rachette even know about this? Because I wasn't like, me and Rachette never talked before or like whatever. So, clearly, there's probably some people that watch me that engage in this toxic community that are like, yeah, I got some stuff for you, Rachette, for Mercado. That fuck. I can't stand that guy. Guy's an asshole. So here, how about you hit him about the Jake Bro situation that doesn't exist? Then I go, there is no beef with Jake. I just have my own personal grievances. Why deflect to another topic? I'm not trying to create a beef. I'm asking simple questions that many others have also asked with zero success. You ain't going to pivot to some other bullshit on me, boy. So then he finally goes, what's the question for me? So basically, I just copy paste my question that I posted in the DMs to him. So I go, yes, of course. 1, what is the Georgian Legion? Is it an NGO? Is it a military organization? Is it a social club? 2, do you have any reports for expenditures from donations given? 3, what, if any, is association with Richard Sharp? And then 4, why is the Ukrainian flag upside down on your fleece? Because if you're in the military, there is zero reason you will have your country flag upside down. Absolutely zero. If you're actually in the military, it will never happen. And the excuse is, I'm tired, so I put it on and I was looking down at, no, fuck all the way off. That's not going to happen. So then this guy, this clown, sends me the Georgian Legion Wikipedia link to explain the Georgian Legion to me, that he was allegedly a part of and managed the page, and he's personal soldier to Mamuka. Sends me the Georgian Legion Wikipedia link. Like, thanks, guy who is directly involved with the Georgian Legion. So then Mocking Snail goes, so why did Mandy, who is also connected, I'm blocked by Mandy now too, to the Georgian Legion. So why did Mandy say it was not a unit? Right? Because he's sending me that Georgian Legion link that says it's a military unit, which it's not. And we need to, that's why this is important, because in the Google searches and the information around the Georgian Legion, you're having this fake information that it's a military unit. It's not. It's not a military unit at all. So he'll send me that as cope, like, oh, look at. So then he goes, as discussed, please wait for me to go through this first, and then we will talk, which he never went through. None of this, he never went through any of this. Where's the rest of it from me? The rest of the questions, other than the flag one, were answered publicly. Use the search feature as I am busy drinking my milk with honey. The flag upside down because I didn't pay attention that day. Then I go, well, thank you for your response. A few follow-ups. 1, if the Georgian Legion is a military unit, as Wikipedia says, do you have a unit number you could reference? 2, why are there filings for the Georgian Legion as an NGO, but there are not any available spending reports? Can you clarify this? 3, can you send me the link to your answers to those questions? This is very important, and thank you for your time answering on Twitter. And then 4, I served in the U.S. Army, and I could only imagine if I had placed the U.S. flag upside down, what my superiors would have said to me. As a sergeant, if one of my soldiers would have had the flag upside down, I would have ruined their day. They would have been doing push-ups. They would have had to earn the right to wear that American flag again. Their day would have been cooked. They would have been doing extra detail, to be honest. Like, the reason you're serving in the military is to protect the thing that's on your, to protect the country. The guy's like, I wasn't paying attention that day. He's not a soldier. Never was. Never has been. He's a bodyguard from Mamuka, basically, or like some entity within the Mamuka sphere, which he isn't the commander of the, he's not a commander either of the Georgian Legion, through talking with individuals in the know. in the background. Mamuka is like a face, but he's not a commander of the Georgian Legion. Here's commas. No, I had another one too. This is why it's going to be organized in a video, guys. There's a lot, and it continues to come out, right? And there's like two things going on. It's the accountability for the Georgian Legion that's not happening, and then the harassment and through the harassment and the people that are calling for transparency, more information is coming out because more and more people are seeing the harassment, or the motherfuckers on X that claim to be NAFO that are trying to pretend that they don't see it. More people are speaking out because they're getting tired of it, because they're like, yeah, I know the bullshit that the Georgian Legion does, and I'm going to start speaking out about it. So Mamuka went on Zolkin, and in Russian, which that's, you know, it's a choice, but the choice I would have made to do, given all this and answering questions from donors and Westerners that are trying to support Ukraine, going on a show and speaking in Russian was kind of weird. So what they called the claims for donations took about 10 minutes because I can't translate Russian. So we had Renat, who's been doing excellent reporting on the Georgian Legion as well. Mamuka's first argument was that the Ukrainian tax authorities had no questions for them. I do not fully understand how this applies to public reporting. Yes, they declare the donations they receive, but they are absolutely legal in the eyes of tax authorities. How does this relate to public transparency? Report on at least some of the things for which you spent the declared funds. Why is it a problem? Next, they ridiculed Ukraine Today, but then clarified that it was Britain. In the conversation, they said it was not journalistic investigation at all. They also added that it was just an attack aimed at discrediting them. But that's the shitty part about this, is because that Ukraine Today article was written by Jay Beecher, who is less than trustworthy when it comes to information. And that's why when I started asking questions about it, I was just getting linked Jay Beecher shit. Like, you can't ask questions. Look at who's the source of it. It's this guy. And I'm like, no, it's not him. He's writing the story about it and taking it and making it his, but it's coming from Ukrainians and other people on X that are asking questions about this. Like, Jay Beecher in Ukraine Today is not the starting source of this. He's taking it. The conversation, they said it was not. Okay, I read that. Next, they mentioned the fallen soldiers of the Georgian Legion. They definitely are heroes, and no one would dispute that. But how does this relate to the reporting of the Georgian Legion's Twitter page and their website? But not only that, was the Georgians that have fought and died for Ukraine are in Ukrainian units. There isn't like, it's not like this guy is the commander of like a legion of Georgians fighting for Ukraine. That's not a thing. There is no Georgian Legion military unit. Then they discussed a screenshot of Viktor Hanatov's tweet. He was also ridiculed, arguing that he was simply picking up on disinformation from Ukraine Today. So basically, Jay Beecher became the focus for this. Of like basically easy to write it off as, oh, these are just allegations from this untrustworthy source, so therefore none of it is real. Okay, that's why it's important to know, like, it's important to understand who's reporting and what their motivations are behind it, because Jay Beecher has ulterior motives behind what he's doing and takes advantage of the situation. Mamuka at the end said it was all Russian propaganda. I've been writing about the non-transparent reporting of the Georgian Legion for a while. I conducted an elementary and straightforward investigation that anybody can check, which he absolutely did. And I reported on like a few weeks ago from Renat, where you can go into all of their results of fundraisers and all of their postings, and they don't provide any details at all. Any funds, any collection funds whatsoever, none. They'll have some random video attached to it, and that's that. But in terms of where the money's going and the transparency around it, it does not exist. It does not exist at all. So that's that in terms of I mean, it's going to have to, in terms of something legitimate to happen to the people that are behind this, it's got to come from like official authorities. Like, we can, like, I'm going to put a video out about this and about the actions of the Georgian Legion, but understand that it's just going to be a video for the public space to understand. It's not like, maybe they can use my findings and others' findings for a serious lawsuit in the future, but that's got to come from specific pointed things that I don't have the access to. And with the blocking of from the Georgian Legion completely, and them just trying to silence any any investigation about it. It's made it incredibly difficult to get. I mean, every answer I'm getting from Terrace and the Georgian Legion has been nothing but blocking or been. I mean, Terrace ended it with this. Where's Terrace? Hold on. This is where we ended it in our DMs about the situation. So you sent me the Wikipedia link, which didn't answer the first question. I showed you guys that, the Wikipedia article. If the second and third question were answered, can you direct me to the links to the public responses? Then he says you have to scroll the Georgian Legion page. I cannot do it for you. And then I remind him that the Georgian Legion has blocked me, so I can't scroll their page again. And this is so silly because he ran the account. He ran the account while it was collecting the fundraising and all the money. He's the one that was going to have the answers to this, and he's just deflecting. So then he goes, I am sure you have a sock account or something. I do not manage it, but he used to. I go, yes, Terrace, but you used to. You are a representative of the Georgian Legion. You continue to dance around questions. I will be reporting on this story very soon, of course, and I will make a sock account to read their posts. I already have one. I'm asking you, Terrace Rochetlo, these questions, and I'm going to have to use these responses from you as an official response very soon if these games continue to be played. All have been answered. You'll have to scroll my page then. Bye. Thank you for your official non-answers to my direct questions to you. Take care. And then I'm not official. I am on sick leave. That's weird. Sick leave from what? Take care. Are you in Minneapolis? And then I ask him, are you sick leave from what? How long is your sick leave? I served 10 years in the U.S. Army. When I was on sick leave, I was still a representative official of my unit. Like, when you want to go on leave or sick leave, whatever, guess what? You're still in the Army. You're still in the military. If you commit a crime or if you get in trouble or if you do something, you're getting hit by not only the state and local and regular civilian authorities, but you're also getting UCMJ too. So you are like, you just because you're on a leave doesn't mean you're not in the military anymore. You're still in the military until you get your DD-214 in Uncle Sam or whatever country I don't know. That's how it works in the U.S. military. Yeah, until you get that DD-214, you are owned by Uncle Sam. They own that ass. You can't do shit. Okay? So he didn't respond to this. Probably trying to find out. I don't know if he's trying to strong arm me or trying to scare me that he knows where I'm at. But I know where he's at. And he's in my home state. I don't like it. So I'm trying to find a way to send him back to Ukraine if I possibly can. To be honest, dude. Like, fuck you. Want to do that? You can go LARP and send his ass to the front lines for real. Want to LARP for you and steal money from people that are trying to help the front lines? Boy, I hope he gets sent there. I hope he gets sent to the east, to be honest. Like, I swear to God. So then anyway, others have came in, and like the War Santa, who's receiving incredible amounts of hate and just lies being spewed about him. Let me try to find it here. Sorry if I'm getting you. Yeah, you can take the toaster with him. You take the freaking Elon mobile. Where'd it go, dude? It's been so much. Here it is. So War Santa put one out. And I had about a half-hour long conversation with the War Santa in private just to ask questions about what they had posted. And they go, I have stayed quiet on this matter for the sensitivities of fundraising and focused on Ukraine, but I cannot sit by when I am firsthand witness to everything. I have been attacked, doxxed, smeared. Richard Sharp, who's been posing as a Richard Eldling, called my work to try to get me fired. So understand that even just the asking of the questions of this has been absolute, this is Tom Clancy shit, you guys. Like, levels of behind the scenes garbage that are happening to people that are trying to find out or get to the bottom of the Georgian Legion. It is absolute toxicity times 1,000. And it's rifting NAFO in ways that even more so than October 7th did. Thank you to Kama for that introduction to the Georgian Legion. You guys chalk this up to drama, but this is criminal level stuff in any situation. Our extremely credible organization couldn't get off the ground. Thankfully, there are good people out there that listen and provided the equipment, critical equipment to our teams. This message is from 7 October 2022. I have shared this to a few people. It has been slowly making its way. I warned you, and I warned others who ended up reporting back to the fraudulent Mamuka, who spread fake rumors about me. Right, so there's a DM with Kama, who was the original scribe, or what do they call them? The ones that make NAFO fellas. I can't remember what the word is. So yeah, I figured people are walking away from the GFL or taking breaks. Accusations are flying around, and a lot of eyes are on Rachette and wondering where the funds are going. So this is back in 2022. Forgers, thank you. The fellow forgers. So this is October of 2022, you guys. Yeah, things have gone downhill recently, but I continue to do my thing because I know that there are guys who need help, but I didn't know it's this bad. Okay, so kind of letting us know that people that were connected to the Georgian Legion from the beginning were aware of bad things that were happening with the Georgian Legion, and that money wasn't going to where it said it was, right? So providing context is, again, a lot as the harassment continues and as more people put their heads in the sand about this, or take it or make it their personal thing, like, oh, the drama is going to hurt my fundraising, right? Or that same shit with when I went through with the enforcer nonsense. Oh, this is going to hurt Ukraine, Mercado. You defending your harassment against the enforcer is only going to hurt Ukraine. You got to stop. Kiss my ass. You used my photo to raise funds from one of my gear drops, from gear that was from two amazing donors, purposely not mentioned, but you know who you are. I did not authorize that, neither did my friend. Sounds very, very lawsuit worthy. So this is a picture of War Santa's gear drop and funds that they raised, and Georgian Legion took it as if it's their fundraiser. Does that make sense, chat? Like they took this photo and made it appear that they did this work, but it wasn't. When we created our organization, we had one purpose, which was to take care of the men with the unit pictured above, and the one that was supposed to be created off of that. Mamuka was pissed that we had created our own organization to fundraise after I already made 4 gear runs to take care of my friend and his friends. He wanted to see all of that, all of our accounting. Complete crap when you see the calls for transparency nowadays. Mamuka wasn't a commander. There is a Ukrainian commander above it. Our guys would know. And after asking to all of my own contacts in the Ukrainian military, what Georgian Legion? It doesn't exist, you guys. It never has. You guys knew nothing about the Georgian Legion, and yet you created a grifting monster. How much money was given for equipment that never made it to actual defenders in Ukraine? So here's more messages to Kama. I have never spoke to Mamuka or anybody other than Rachette before, but today, when we've registered NAFO as a non-governmental organization, suddenly everybody wanted to talk to me. Okay, fuck it, I'll say it. This is from the War Santa to Kama personally. Mamuka knew about all of my trips there, how much gear I took. He knew we were creating our nonprofit specifically for the main unit doing anything in the Georgian Legion, and for redacted team that Mamuka was going to give men to. So it was already known, right? It was already known that Mamuka and the Georgian Legion were absolute sus at the end of 2022. And official NAFO and others continued to promote the Georgian Legion. And like Adam Kinzinger and Paul Massaro and other prominent pro-Ukraine X accounts that all knew about the Georgian Legion's bad activities, but still continued to promote them. What does that sound like? I have a lot more, and it's very damning, and it's not hearsay. Read for yourself. Paul Massaro knew. Here is Kama talking about it. We had just begun our organization because we wanted to take care of our boys. We were hammered and abused online. We even offered transparency to Kama because we didn't know where to turn. NAFO knew. The transparency mattered to NAFO on 7 October of 2022? Nope. The entire existence of the Feed the Wolves for Ukraine was built off of a con. They knew. They chose silence because they thought it would hurt the donor base. That's what I was told with the enforcer. Mercado, you'd stop it. You're hurting the efforts for Ukraine by calling out a scammer, grifter, and complaining about your abuse, Mercado. Stop it. You're a problem. We just didn't fully know who and what Edward was at the time. That's why I was confused why he was pro feed the wolves. All we ever wanted, sorry. Shoot, God, I fucking hate this platform, dude. All we ever wanted to do at Victory Team was to take care of our boys until victory was accomplished. For those that want to call me or my team comrade or Ivan, have your board members been in the Ukrainian military from 22 February of 2022? Have you been in a trench? Have you been blinded by a tank round? Have you blown up a Russian ammunition depot? Have you been captured by Russia? So here's more of the DMs back and forth. Oh, me neither. Shit. I dropped everything when the war kicked off, and my boy Redacted and his guy's gear. Then used some of the scopes I took in the beginning on Redacted's rifle. He lent me when I was at the front. That was interesting. I think the biggest thing we might need is for others to know that we exist and our credibility so that we can keep doing our volunteer job and fighting. And we don't mind being transparent. Being transparent is the most important thing at times like this, from Kama. This is our other Twitter, and Manus and I will run. We will start putting everything out there today and tomorrow. We don't want to change any Georgian Legion NAFO crap. We just want to take care of our guys who take care of us. Kama goes that it's already happened. Response, I'll share with you our Stripe account that's tied to the website. Kama goes, there's no need. But if your guys decide to leave and join the 93rd, we can set them up with some winter gear and possibly a pickup truck. Copy, I'll pass that on, says War Santa. Oh, and what has already happened? I can say multiple things at once with the ADHD in me. Things have changed since Massaro had his grand tour because Paul Massaro got to met with Zelensky during that tour that is being talked about. That's where this photo comes from. Guessing Massaro saw a lot then. Massaro is behind many of the changes. Well, that makes sense, and it makes a lot of sense why Congress went quiet on this. Just confused why Edward is still... Oh, is there more? Just confused why Edward is still feeding the wolves. I wish it was feed the Alpha Pack, right? Because he's trying to insinuate, like, man, the Georgian Legion, they're not a real military organization. They're not going to be using these funds to help the front lines. I wish this would go to Alpha instead, or like a real military unit like in Ukraine. Well, because there's more at stake than just the Legion, which insinuates that ruining the vibes of the Georgian Legion at the time would have hurt Ukraine somehow, which absolutely fucking does not make sense in my brain, because that's so much money that could have been directed to legitimate organizations over the past 2 years, because it's October now, right? Probably millions could have been sent to other organizations and credible organizations, but it was sent to the Georgian Legion instead. And people that had promoted the Georgian Legion were being like told, yo, this unit or this thing is not what it says it is. Maybe stop promoting it and promote this legit thing instead. And no, this would be bad for Ukraine. We can't have this. We can't have it. We can't call out the Georgian Legion because it would be bad for Ukraine. And I'm never with that mindset. I will never be with that mindset ever. Ever. Never, ever will I ever have a mindset where I'm like, shh, to keep the vibes. I don't give a you know why? Because when I actually served in the US military, because I put 10 years of service in the US military, I had a responsibility as a sergeant when I reached the rank of E5 to be a sharp and EO representative. You know what that means, chat? I had to be a sexual harassment and equal opportunity NCO. So if a soldier was facing sexual harassment or harassment of any type, or was discriminated against based upon their race or their religion or their sexual orientation, they came to me and would tell me about it. And then I would go and try to find the next highest up, because I was the representative for my platoon. But then there's a company level, and then there's battalion level, there's brigade level, right? So you bring that soldier aside and you talk to him, and then you bring him to the proper channels that are going to help get that harassment and abuse taken care of. And that is supposed to happen while you're also executing your mission, right? You got to go from point A to point B. That's why fucking civilians drive me up the wall, dude, especially when it came to covering this war and covering warfare. The amount of civilians that have been allowed to just spew and have platforms in this shit is just driven me nuts. So you're expected to execute your mission. Mine was 88 Mike, so we had to do logistics, convoys, loading gear, driving it, delivering it, gun trucks, convoy security. But guess what, chat? The level of responsibility I had to have for those soldiers facing harassment, abuse, and discrimination had to be at the same standard as the standard I had for executing the mission, which was logistics. I couldn't be like, oh, hey, Private Snuffy, your harassment is, and me handling it, it's just going to cause the mission to fail. Oh, hey, Private Snuffy, you have a problem with so and so. Have you tried just ignoring them? Hey, Private Snuffy, I know you have you're facing some serious sexual harassment and abuse right now. Man, can that wait until after we get back from this mission? Because your complaining is really causing a lot of drama, and I don't know if we're going to be able to complete this mission with your problems right now. Boy, fucking, that just tells me, like, truly, people that serve in the military are on a level way above people that haven't, and it is what it is with how they can handle multiple things at once. They can walk and shoot, and veterans can walk and chew gum at the same time. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just a lot of people that can serve in the military, you kind of develop like an ADHD mindset. I already have ADHD, so I was able to thrive in the military because you're expected to do a lot, and you got to do a lot in a day before close of business. And then even then you have more shit to do. But civilians around this war have not been able to do multiple things at once. And it's been very frustrating because you think, oh, we're just in this to support Ukraine. We're only in this to support Ukraine. Yes. But there is also levels of the community that's supporting the thing that we're supporting needs to be supported as well. Like the people that are giving their time, their money, their energy, their day in and day out to support Ukraine, they deserve a level of respect too. I'm not putting them on the same level as the soldiers out there that are fighting in the trenches for sure. But those people deserve a level of respect, and the people that are here to support Ukraine deserve a level of I don't know, like it shouldn't be like you're just a mindless drone, like you're just a pound of meat, and you're just here and all you do is wear the Ukraine flag on you, and that's all. You shut up and wear that Ukraine flag. Like that is not how it's going to work, at least not in my community, for anything. That's not how it's going to work on my platforms, no matter what. I don't care how supportive of Ukraine you are. If you're going to be harassing people because they're asking questions, or you're gonna create a cult environment around harassing an individual because this individual has a problem with a popular Twitter account, like fuck off. Reaper fella put one out. This, again, more and more accounts are starting to post about it. That's why I haven't put my video out yet, because it seems like every day I log in, somebody that was connected personally to the Georgian Legion is speaking out. So I'm still giving it some time. My thoughts on NAFO and Georgian Legion, and please share if you think they are worth it. My NAFO days, my avatar began with the Georgian Legion. Same here, but I have a social media platform, so I'm social media guy, or I'm content creator guy. I don't get to be NAFO person, I guess, even though I had a fella day one, but I've always represented myself on the internet. I've never been like an avatar on the internet, if that makes sense. I never doubted their credibility, which makes me naive. I was so thankful for a grassroots movement that did something against the helplessness. Of course, it always starts off well. It starts off with good intentions. It's never like, I'm going to support this scamming, grifting thing. Like, it's always with the best of intentions, and you're trying to help Ukraine. The war against Ukraine broke my heart, and I couldn't handle how politicians did literally nothing. Remember, German chancellor promised to send 5,000 helmets? Yeah. NAFO was for me a space of friendship and compassion, of political activism and resistance. Fighting disinformation, urging politicians and social media, spreading news from Ukraine, and most of all, donating for projects in the military or for civilians was essential for me. It gave me back hope and the feeling that even I could make a change and take my responsibility. Exactly. Seriously, I connected with Ukrainians too on Facebook, and it helped me to connect with the world that I felt needed to be protected at all costs. But humor in NAFO also helped, because really there is a form of terror and despair that can only be fought with humor. I think Bob H in the chat said something that earlier when we had, when earlier in the stream we were watching videos from the hurricane, and Hurricane Charlie came in before it got really religious and weird. And we were like kind of laughing at the fact that he walks barefoot everywhere. And someone in the chat went, "How can you laugh at this? How is this funny?" When Bob H in the chat gave this exact response, almost. And the strength, humor, and resilience of Ukrainians is something NAFO learned from. Of course, it is easy for all of us who are not being shelled. Then 2023, I was offline most of the year because someone in my family fell ill and because I became depressed. Ongoing war, too, and the rising pro-Russian voices in Germany. I came back just lately to find there was something going on with the Georgian Legion and their credibility. I read investigative articles and postings about the missing transparency, possible grifting, supposedly hundreds of thousands of dollars that may never have reached their destination and were therefore taken from Ukraine, who needed them urgently. I don't know if all that is true. Georgian Legion hasn't answered any of the questions, but if it is, I hope they will be held accountable. If it's not true, may they live in peace. I learned from Ukrainians that they and other people have been harassed, doxxed, threatened, talked to in various abusive ways by people who want to protect the wolf pack, which by now looks to me like it has a cult followership. It does. Like a misogynistic cult followership that is propagated by women that Rochette and so that's the whole other thing, you guys. It's so deep. There's so many problems. That's why I was trying to focus on just the money part with you guys. But there's really so many problems with this whole thing. They're the biggest. I'll show you. Biggest misogynistic, disgusting thing I've seen, the Georgian Legion. And I wasn't paying attention to that because I wasn't in their spaces, and I have my own stream on YouTube here. Like I'm not a fan. I'm not a follower. I'm in their community. We have my own community here. So I wasn't up in their spaces listening to what was being said in these things. It's literally like the Georgian Legion spaces and their community is a misogynistic, like fucking mean girl thing. It's the worst thing you can ever be a part of. Like mental health problems times everything. Unbelievable to me. If I didn't see them with my own eyes, I am absolutely confused, disappointed, and shocked by many NAFO members who seem to belittle the problem by calling this drama, as if that were about siblings not liking each other anymore, or by ignoring it, let's pretend it didn't happen, or by even insinuating that, God, I hate this platform, by even, where'd it go? God dang it. You click one wrong thing and it sends you away from it. Oh my goodness, sorry. Okay, back to where we were. I'm absolutely confused, disappointed, and shocked by many NAFO members who seem to belittle the problem by calling this drama, as if that were about siblings not liking each other, by ignoring it. Or by even insinuating that every criticism towards the Georgian Legion is a Russian campaign to destabilize NAFO and damage the help for Ukraine. And at this point, I can only say I am disgusted, and I want to distance myself from every NAFO member who has the audacity to belittle or ignore the problem and the still unanswered questions concerning the Georgian Legion. You can unfollow me right here. I won't cry. And even more, I want to distance myself from NAFO members who hurt, threaten, humiliate, harass, stalk, pressure, or ridicule Ukrainians who call for transparency or who criticize the cult mentality around the wolves. You need to stop. You need to sit and think about what this movement was for. You need to question yourself if even you, who criticize an undercover Russian propaganda manipulation, have fallen for manipulation. Which, people that can only do one thing at a time, yes. Like if you're a person that you can only support Ukraine, don't like that person. Like if you can only do one thing at a time, you're being prone to manipulation is going to happen. If you're unable to still support Ukraine while also like understanding the background problems here, a lot of people, I have ADHD, so this is all day for me. Like I have a song playing in my head right now at the same time while I'm talking to you guys, type shit. You know what I mean? So I can do that. I can walk and chew gum, no problem. But I understand that not everybody can. But that was going to lead to misinformation being directed to you because you can only do the one thing, and that's just support Ukraine. You can't do anything else. Because guess what? And especially with the war, especially with supporting a military, you got to be able to do multiple things at once, right? You want to be a civilian supporting a military at war, but you can only do one thing. Man, I hope that one thing's really, 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 really good. And if that one thing's really, 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 really good, makes me question what else you got. Because like, if there's people that are coming to you with problems and you're just like, nah, I only want to just support Ukraine, go away. Like, what's the value of that then? Like, you're supporting Ukraine with the vibes, I guess? But I'm not talking about the people that are donating or hosting fundraisers with their NAFO accounts, like Trinzu, a page. Obviously, the 69th Sniffing Brigade. That's solid. Everybody knows about them now. There's prominent NAFO accounts that only just post fundraisers, and they're very good at it. But a lot of the attention now from NAFO on Twitter is coming from people that have called and individuals that have cultivated a lot of followers, and they're just kind of doing social media influencer stuff with the NAFO fella. They're not even doing they're not even sharing fundraisers, or they're not doing any NAFO things. They're social media influencers now with a fella PFP. So if NAFO does not do that, if not all of us do that, then we are at a point where we should just end this whole idea, this whole project, because it had failed. I know it hurts to realize maybe I was part of a lie of people profiting from war and naivety. But even if we failed and NAFO crumbled, we still would have learned something. We would be smarter and more mature, and then maybe we could just drop our Akita dog faces because humans and do what we came here to help Ukraine, listen to Ukraine, amplify Ukrainian voices, show activism and resistance. Donate more projects that care for transparency so the money reach the people who need it. Start being human again and take into consideration to say all these magical words. If I was wrong, and I'm sorry, NAFO fellas, NAFO, Ukraine will win. Definitely the feelings of many there. I don't think NAFO's going anywhere. But it can definitely create an environment of why did I join this thing? Or why am I having the Shiba Inu profile picture and being a part of this thing with others? And there's clear problems by very large platforms and entities that I've also supported, and these platforms are not wanting to. They're gonna excuse this toxicity. I don't want to be a part of it. Then that's just natural. That's just natural. So many, and people are gonna end up proving their true intentions here soon. Of were you just in to support Ukraine because it provided the community for you with NAFO, or do you actually support Ukraine without a community? Or without people that support, or without having followers, or without any of that? And that question was posed too, to be honest. It was. Let me pull it up really quick by a Ukrainian. If you didn't have a social, where did it go? I know I saved it. If you didn't have a social media account, would you still support Ukraine, basically? Or would you still be as passionate about supporting Ukraine? I don't know if, oh no, I retweeted it. And I reposted it here. But I know a lot of people have just kind of made their own, or changed their fella to just themselves now on Twitter with still support of Ukraine. Would you still stand with Ukraine if there was no social media? Would you still help Ukraine without applause, with no followers on your platform and no attention to your efforts? Would you still find a way to amplify Ukrainian voices? Remember the Seinfeld episode where George was putting money into the tip jar and kept waiting for someone to see him do it? Otherwise, it didn't count. I hope your answer is yes. I'll be standing with Ukraine no matter what. That is really the only way. Can we get a clip of that really quick? That's a good metaphor. Is it the George tip jar? Tip jar.
So they're putting in a lost and found because of me. There's a time limit, but still.
They're really building a utopian society up there. And you attribute all this to the calzone?
Yeah. I'm like a drug dealer. I got the guy hooked. I'm having lunch at his desk every day this week, just him and me.
George was the only good part of Seinfeld, I think.
He doesn't make a move without.
I don't like Jerry Seinfeld at all. George was the best part of this.
It's very exciting.
Look, with you two guys at the helm, the last piece of the puzzle's in place.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question about the tip cup, because I had a little thing with the calzone guy there this week. I go to drop a buck in the tip jar, and just as I'm about to drop it in, he looks the other way. So then, as I'm leaving, he gives me a look like, thanks for nothing.
You got no credit.
Exactly. It's like I'm throwing a buck away. If they don't notice it, what's the point?
So you don't make a habit of giving to the blind?
That was a good one, Jerry. That was a good one.
Not bills.
So, George.
Not bills.
Number 49.
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen, huh? Paisanos!
650 your change.
Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio!
Sì!
Vieni qua! Questa miserabile pattone di cazzo!
Sono qua!
Take it back.
Hey! Hey! You steal my money?
No, you don't understand. I wasn't trying to take it
No,
out.
I know what you tried to do.
No.
Now get out there. Don't come back here again. Heaven!
No, no.
Oh,
Wait.
I beg you. Oh, my God.
Oh boy. So great reference there for sure. Yeah, if you didn't see it, you didn't see me doing it. You need to see me donating to you. I matter. I'm a very important person. So, but yeah, so it's just a lot of how would you say moral and ethics behind it. Obviously, there's no moral and ethics board in NAFO. There's literally nothing. It's a decentralized movement without a leader. Yeah, say the words. Now I'm gonna create a Bart Simpson meme now for whenever I hear a NAFO account go, "We're a decentralized movement with no leader." Like every time, dude. So it's like I said earlier, it falls back on those that do have platforms and that do have large NAFO followings on this piece of shit platform that still exists. To not engage in people that are being toxic or that are harassing others and create a space for people to talk about it in a healthy manner. And that just is what it is. And if NAFO that have 30, 60,000 followers don't understand that, then they're going to lose their platform over time. Like when the war slows down, their following will die. And then they'll wonder what happened, because they could have been a source for community building around this. But instead they weren't adding to it, but they were by proxy adding to it by ignoring it or pretending it's not existing. Trinzu, social battery. So that's, I mean, again, I'll do a more edited video. This is very, very ADHD all over the place with this, because that's what it is, honestly, because there's so many problems with this. It's the transparent, it's like it's more than three, but I'm going to give you the three big ones. One, the money and the accountability and transparency about, is the money donating to the Georgian Legion making it to the front lines? Two, the toxic and the toxic harassment and the response to the people that were calling for accountability. Like that's also happening. Okay. And then three, in the cult like, well, it also might contribute it to the followers or the people that are trying to call it toxic or creating a toxic mess, but the misogynistic environment that the Georgian Legion was in and that they were thriving within. Let me try to find that really quick. And what they were doing to women in the background. Is this one of the spaces? No. Where's the space audio from the Hogwarts? Oh, did they? No, that's not it. Where's the Hogwarts Express bullshit? Did they delete those? I literally saved all that. You cannot join into the Georgian Legion. They got taken off United 24th. Here it is. Found it. So here is kind of how the Georgian, there's more examples, but this is how the Georgian Legion uses misogyny to further whatever their effort is. So they had a space called the Hogwarts Express, and this is slut shaming. This isn't all. Oh, I can't, because 1 second, I gotta log into my other account. Hold on. I gotta log into my other one quick. Shoot. I think it was this one. I'm blocked from the Georgian Legion account now, so I can't see their shit. Okay, we're in there. Okay, we're back. Okay. Yeah, fucking. So Hogwarts Express at 7:48. So Rachette would host these spaces as the Georgian Legion. Look at, I enjoyed the space. This is September of 2023. this thing, HopeSec, like they're doing this misogynistic thing. This is like incel Reddit shit, you guys. I know it might not make sense to you, but that's like essentially where it comes from, is incel community stuff. So at what time was it? At 7:48, Hogwarts is a Slutland-based academy. How do I play it? How do I play the space again? Can I do that in the? Can I not do that on the desktop? This platform is so dog shit. I think I have to play it. Do I have to play it on my phone? What is this? Hold on. If I have to play it on my phone, I will. I don't know why it won't connect to the. I don't know why it won't connect to my desktop here. Hold on. What can I get this? Trying to get this link to my. Here, let's do this here. I know how to do it. Georgian Legion. We have a section for all this too in a Discord if you want to talk about it. Post that. Now let me click that in my Discord because I have to be on my sock account for this. Just use your sock account. Okay, Terrace. Yeah, I can only play it on my phone. Okay, you guys are gonna have to listen through the microphone here. Okay, so I'm playing the space from the Georgian Legion account, which again, it's the official Georgian Legion account. This is at 7 minutes and 48 seconds. I'm playing it right off of my. There it is. Playing it right off of my phone, but I got to do it like this because it won't play on the desktop. So 7:48. Here's how it starts. Like this is all. How is this even happening with this amount of attention that they've had? And the amount of people that have promoted this piece of shit, and they were doing this in the background the entire time. That's not Harry Potter. So it's 7:48. There you go. This is Rachette.
Anybody has any questions for now? Before we start our journey. In short, Hogwarts is a gardening term. It's not Harry Potter related. Academy. Hogwarts is Slutland-based academy. It's located in Scotland. So.
As a Slutland-based academy. Again, this is all misogynistic Reddit or not Reddit. Yeah, Reddit tier incel shit. 10:37. 10 minutes and 37 in this space. I am your magical Dumbledore. Don't confuse from Dumbledore. Dumbledore is a gardener. I like to R-word to sold weeds. 10:37. Same space. Georgian Legion. 10:37. Try to get to that here.
To this enchanting journey called the Hogwarts Express. I'm your magical guide, Dumbledore. Don't confuse from Dumbleho. Dumbledore is a gardener. I like to rake. I like to sow weeds, and I need your support in that because during the recent times I noticed there was a lot of drama, and we will be fighting this drama with 50% humor, 50% hard work, which is the same as hoeing in the garden. And
so they have the again, guys, I don't know the level of depravity you have to go to like get it, but they have a misogynistic thing called the Hogwarts Express space that they held as the Georgian Legion account, official Georgian Legion account on a regular basis, and was doing this bullshit for months. And when you're in a cult, you guys, or like when you're in a cult following, you like this, you don't see this stuff. You think it's probably just a joke. You think it's nothing. It's nothing here. At the Hogwarts, we're redefining magic without the cringe or misogyny, which is crazy. And they're quote tweeting Andrew Tate. Oh, that's all coming from Andrew Tate world stuff, huh? So this is like this is like a side thing. If you guys, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. The focus has been tough with the Georgian Legion because, like I said, you have the financial problem of the accountability of money and where that's going. And that is the number one problem. That is the one where people were asking questions about. And through the questions and through the toxicity and through the bullshit, all of this has come out. Like, oh, like how deep is the problem? The problem is very deep. The problem goes, it's a river of nonsense with the Georgian Legion. It's very, very bad, like all around. Creating what does this say? You need to read this. Okay, Delish. So these are public statements. I'm not going to repeat anything I was told in private from people. You need to read this. This is the person many of you have been supporting, directly or indirectly, behaving not only like an abusive boyfriend, but a regular cult leader, creating a harem of women and pitching them against each other for his favors. Right? So, and like a lot of women would tune into these Hogwarts Express things that they were holding. I want to share part of my story with the Georgian Legion and Rachette. I was indirectly mentioned in Mandy's recent list behind the Georgian Legion smear campaign. Those who know will recognize that was me. This framing compels me to share my side and clarify my experience. So, because this is Mandy, one of those that are under the control of Rachette and the Georgian Legion, who's also blocked me for asking questions. Why now? We must be vigilant about ensuring fundraisers for Ukraine are legitimate and supported by Ukrainians. It's crucial that our efforts truly help Ukraine. If we don't expose grifters, they'll only get more sophisticated, i.e. the enforcer. Thank you. Never mind. I'm Ukrainian Canadian with experience as a broadcast and print journalist, communications specialist, fundraiser, and community organizer. As a journalist, I document and report. That's exactly what I'm doing here. I first learned about the Georgian Legion through NAFO and donated, believing it was a legitimate combat unit. When Rachette tweeted asking for Instagram expertise, I thought with my varied expertise that I could contribute. That's where my involvement began. Very weird to be reaching out through Instagram DMs about expertise on things, right? I proposed a detailed plan for the Instagram account, including highlights, posts, stories, and carousels. After approval, I was granted access to the account and hired by my design director out of my own pocket to redesign the Instagram highlight icons and more. Then I had to constantly chase approvals. Every initiative seemed to stall. This made me question whether there were any real need behind the work. I wasn't trying to take control of the social media. My goal was to make it reflect the Georgian Legion's mission. Instead, the account was chaotic. I even expressed to other volunteers that it felt like there was no adult in the room. My goal was to bring order and not take over. And it was with the same goal that I asked for better organization and more professional communications. Feedback, even that based on decades of expertise, was ignored. Excuses, rather weak ones, were made repeatedly. Guilt trips were frequent, and when trying to end discussions, Rachette, who is, again, Terrace Rachetlo, would fall back to ordering people to do things to change the subject. As Lewis Lane also shared, volunteers would get ordered around without regard to their interests, areas of expertise, or ideas on how to best help. Rudeness was common, grown adults being admonished and ganged up on. It was like a job with a micromanaging boss that ignored you, except you weren't being respected and weren't getting paid or thanked. So here's Georgian Legion fundraising. Understood. I have registered my concern. This is Rachette. Great. Did we send out the oil to Kyiv? Today, it's going out. Please complete that project today. Today, it is going out. Like, it's going out today. I just told you it was. Good. Going and being done is different. Let's get our hands on it because there's no other time to help. Now to sum it up, this account, it will be the gallery of all the stuff we have. That means all the stuff in Lewis's possession. The knife is going to be raffled today. The rest of the items will be posted and purchased either to the fixed price or to be auctioned. Also from Help Magili account, due to concerns with the statuses, we'll be holding off raffling it for now. I really suggest you take a look at this project and read. I will be traveling, so the Help.Magelli lead will fill you in. Feel free to ask any questions to him. I thought Magelli was you. Magelli is a shared account. It is not me, as I am moving to Hogwarts fully. I didn't even read this yet. Magelli is an official volunteer account managed by a PR term. Right. I will be off from any type of communication for the next 14 days. Listen to Magelli and behave. Behave. Define what behave means. Again, this is a professional person trying to coordinate things with Rachette from the Georgian Legion. Understand that. Rachette sends back a fucking. Is this like a when I see this, I'm thinking chancla. You're getting thrown a in Hispanic culture. If you misbehave, you're gonna get the mom's gonna take off the flip flop and hit you with it. So that's what I'm reading here. Behave equals focus on resolution rather than adding up to the issue, which equals rowing in the same direction as everyone involved, which equals using the tools available rather than fantasizing about what we could have had, which equals the less of the letter I, which equals focusing on the positive. That's what behaving means, apparently. At the same time, I was developing interesting new fundraising ideas, but every initiative seemed to meet the same roadblocks. With countless hours put in to push forward to the work, in the end, it was for no reason. It became more frustrating as nothing seemed to progress. During this time, I believe Rachette engaged in what I now recognize as grooming behavior. He often favored certain women, calling us Rachette's proxies, creating both a cult-like atmosphere and subtle competition between us. He would video call me but hide behind an emoji claiming vague OPSEC reasons. These calls lasted for hours even while I worked at my store. When customers came in, he wanted to interact with them, still hiding behind the emoji. Then he introduced Hogwarts, a childish yet sexualized Harry Potter-themed universe. I'm going to puke. He began calling people hoes and inserting ho into various words. He would go off on wild tangents. You heard him in Spaces. I just played some for you. That's just 2 examples. There's more. About the Hogwarts Academy and the courses he planned to have taught by Nona, Pekka, and Massaro. Eventually, he spoke of expandings into other fictional universes like Star Wars, Marvel, and Lord of the Rings. These conversations became more and more bizarre. Rachette often spoke in riddles or emojis, and when I asked for clarification, he made me feel unintelligent or divisive for not understanding. I'm going to make it my personal mission to get this motherfucker fucking deported out of my home state of Minnesota. He needs to go in the front lines of Ukraine. You guys want a Ukrainian that's hiding in the United States from the war, who's grifted off of it and pretended to be a soldier and has been absolutely a piece of shit? I got one for you. It's Rachette. It's Terrace Rachetlo. One of the most strange and alarming things was Rachette making many alt accounts on iMessage, each with different personalities like professional, rude, horny, etc., but all run by him. He does this here too, with all of his accounts. The Rachette, the Hogwarts, all these are locked now. The Hogwarts, and Albus Dumbledore. So Rachette had many, what does this mean now? I'm also waiting for these guys to vote. Come on, wash yourself off the Russian dirt that implies you had it on you in the first place. What does that mean? These alts flooded groups and made it difficult to know who was responsible for what. Was that new person real who runs social media, who runs fundraising campaigns, explaining how confusing it was, changed nothing? We were told it is what it is, and the circus continued. So this is more messaging to Delish tomorrow, who's volunteering for the Georgian Legion. They go, you did not get the message, please reread. It is what it is. In this case means everyone is doing the best of their abilities. The best of the best of the best, sir. It is not taking projects that they cannot do in the most professional way. Winter is going to be tough. We are to preserve and mobilize all the positivity there is. Can we expect an organization chart to be shared soon? Georgians have been doing so since 1993. Okay, well, then where is the chart? Where are all these charts from 93? Organization chart is not the thing that's going to bring us funds to soldiers right now. We have more important issues to fix right now. I respectfully but fully disagree. Good. We are not running CEO business. We need warriors who need support. Feel the difference, guys. We are disorganized. People do not know their role or who other people are. An organization chart is a document outlining roles, responsibilities, and reporting structure. Without one, we keep adding projects that don't get done. Rachette goes, that was shared earlier in the chat. You do soap. Lewis takes pictures and sends out the stuff. Mandy does papaka party. Stop making this a business. This is a cause. Even, especially a cause needs to be organized when there are multiple people doing the tasks. So then, did he send a chart? This is the chart for now. Sends back her messages. The only thing you have to worry about at the moment is soap in the package. Yes, I have business mindset, but I also have a shit ton of experience as an organizer, a fundraiser, a communicator, and a board member. We have outlined and discussed, Rochette says. All I see is 11.1. Stop, guys. Not in the mood to discuss, or do not, there is no try. Understood. I registered my concern. And then the oil to keep conversation. And then things got even crazier when Rochette introduced Mamuka into the group. Things seem a little off, and then Rochette slipped up and posted it as himself from the Mamuka account, and we figured it out. And when the real Mamuka was asked, he had said he had no Apple devices. Well, that's just convenient, isn't it? Rochette goes, am I talking to Mamuka right now? He will be added to this chat. No, am talking to Mamuka right now. He will be added to the chat. Please attach the video and text idea for the team to brainstorm, and we'll post. 1 sec with the video, and the list will be sent by the end of the day tomorrow. Thank you. What's up with the unicorn? What's up with this? Is this their misogynistic shit? Give a warm welcome to the large and in charge. Please keep information in this channel as concise as possible. Hashtag tier 1. And then this is supposed to be Rochette or Mamuka. Hello there, Commander. Right? Because she thinks that this is Mamuka. Mandy's in there. Lewis Ace Lane. Welcome, sir. It's a real honor, Commander. It's just Rochette. Sorry. Damn. Fuck. This isn't... What is this so cringe? Oh, God, this is so cringe. What about me? Georgian Legion. I am dealing with Georgian Legion stuff mainly. So, again, that's Rochette as Mamuka, too. At the same time, the purpose of this chat is to work as a team. Posting mainly from the Georgian Legion or the GHL is the only way to streamline the fundraising activities. 77% of the content should not be related to fundraisers. Where does he come up with 77%? And why, if any, would 77% of the content not be related to fundraisers when that's what the Georgian Legion started as? It was like fundraising to support the front lines. So what the fuck is that? Georgian Legion is making red rivers of Riketsi flow. The currency is grapes. 1 grape is $1. PayPal as a backup option. If the donor says something is easier for, this is Mamuka allegedly. We assume that is the preferred method. And yes, both me and Mamuka have access to this page. Mamuka for reading, Rochette for writing. Fuck off, bro. Oh my God, bro. Fuck all the way off. God, dude, I can't wait. Dude, I want to send this guy back so bad. And then and then he can send some real photos of what war is like. Oh my God, dude, this guy. And then there were the tiers. What is a tier, you ask? Well, I still have no freaking idea. It was bizarre as hell. It's still bizarre as hell, and I don't know what to make of it a year later. But it sure didn't help fundraising, and it was a big source of confusion for us all. Everyone, please note that the tier EE2 page is being managed by a PP. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Rochette is a tier 2. Resheet is a tier EE at 2. What brain do you need for this? Fluffy is tier 1. Fluffy E is tier 2. Fluffy is tier 1. This is brain rot. Delish. Okay, so these are the tiers that Rochette's brain created. I don't know if that's a plug or fingers, but either way, yuck, Mandy. Yuck, Mandy. Mandy, that's gross. This is a tier 1 chat. Tier 3 jokes are not allowed in this one. Tier 3 is the Forbidden Forest, and Tier 2 is the Hogwarts chat. Mandy goes, that was tier 1. Get your head out of the tier 3 gutter. I meant electric plug. I bet she didn't think that thousands of people would be reading their DMs, did they? Yeah, right. Sandal is like the sandal, like Rachette's like kind of they're like role playing. It's kind of like a role play thing. Rachette's really into that, it seems. So Rachette hits her with the sandal in the DMs, and then Mandy's like, "Oh, you hit me with the sandal." Rachette, this is why you should never, dude, your DMs, if you're ever in something like this, and I promise you, I will blast your DMs to everybody. Like, if you're ever in a DM situation like this, and it's sus, and you like have a concern that this might be seen, I will guarantee you that it's seen. I promise you. I will blast it to everybody. It will not be private. Come by my office, please. Mandy, I assume. Don't remember all the numbers. Mandy Saurus. Almost ruined your poses. OPSEC, oops. Why is he in the US and not in Ukraine? That's a really good question. It's a really good question. And this could lead to that reality not being a thing. I think with all of his I think the Ukrainian military really does need support. They need bodies, and Rachette's here acting like he's in the military. And he's acting like he was a representative of the military. I mean, it sounds like a perfect candidate. Sitting here collecting all the benefits of the United States and the comfort of the United States while grifting, lying, creating a cult-like environment, and then hiding here in my home state. I don't think so, sir.